Alright. Hi, welcome to Wasted Lunch. The perfect place to waste your lunch. I'm Paul McVeigh. Had some technical problems there for a second. Like, what the heck? It seemed like I was about to be able to get on the air there for a second. I don't know what was going on with that. It's giving me some troubles. But here I am. Coffee, smokes and all. Wow. Pardon me, Thursday, we are now over the hump, right? One more day, right? And, what am I even looking at here? Got various Pokemon card sleeves in front of me. I'll put my hand on the table. These little boogers are what's underneath my hand. So it looks like one of my kids was playing around over here. I think I know what kid was playing around over here, but I'm not going to mention that kid's name. That kid did not want me to talk to her while I was on the air, so I'm not going to talk to her, although I believe these are hers right here. Yeah, she's right over there, but I'm not going to talk to her. Wow. So I watched a documentary last night on pygmies. Yeah, pygmies. You know, the little people. Little people who, you know, live somewhere in the middle of Africa. Watched a documentary on those folks. And the documentary was shot by a guy who had already been to Africa 7 times. Now, you know, Africa's a big place. Really damn big. And it's filled with lots of different countries. And this guy and another, I'm guessing, another dude went there and started out in the Central African Republic and then crossed over into some other countries to finally get to meet these, a couple of these pygmy tribes, you know, and pygmy people are, you know, little people, you know, they're, I don't know, they're short, they're little people, but they ended up finding these pygmy tribes, and the problem is that the pygmies are getting kind of slaughtered. Yeah. They're not only getting pushed out of the way, and where they live. I mean, they're people are taking them out. It's pretty bad. But anyways, the documentary wasn't totally grim, and these guys meet these tribes and end up getting to stay with them a while, and it's pretty interesting. The whole documentary was only, oh my gosh, I think it was under an hour. So it wasn't that long. It wasn't that long at all, but it was pretty cool how these people live, how they live off the land. And the one thing, though, we couldn't figure out, my son watched it with me, my son Vinny watched it with me, and the only thing we couldn't figure out was where the hell did they get these machetes, you know? Couldn't figure that one out. They didn't explain that either, but that was a question we had, was these little people have machetes, so I don't know if they went to town or something, met some more modern style people and got some machetes off of them, but they had machetes. What was incredible, they went out hunting for honey and climbed up these trees with amazing agility. And I mean, when I say they climbed up some trees to find some honey, I mean they climbed way up in these trees to find honey. My gosh, I don't know how far up in these trees they went, but just judging from the camera and what you can see, I mean, these dudes were climbing very high up in these trees, all to get some honey. And they've got some twine or vine rope or something, and that the dudes on the ground are making these fires and getting these hot coals going on in some wood, and then sending up these leaves with these burning pieces of wood, so these guys can bring them up into the trees with them to smoke the bees out so that they can collect these honeycombs. And so you got people on the ground working on these fires, these smoking kits kind of things, and then these dudes who are up in the tree with these ropes or strings or whatever the hell they are hanging down so these people can tie these little fire smoking kits onto them. And so, you know, some of the time these guys are hanging on to the tree with one hand, and I mean, risking their damn lives for some honey. And but it was cool because these guys who were documenting it, you know, they met up with the tribe. They gave them some cool stuff, you know, food and cigarettes and stuff, which cigarettes, from all I've read, seem to be a really widely accepted kind of peace offering with people, or token of gratitude, you know, amongst all kinds of different cultures. People appreciate cigarettes, except for in America, of course, you know. Smoking's awful. It's not good for you. We know that, but anyways, so they got invited to go on this honey hunting, so, which I thought was pretty cool. And so when they got the honey down, you know, they cut the honeycombs right out of the nest, I guess, and brought them down with them as they came down the trees. And luckily nobody got hurt climbing down or climbing up, but it looked like it would have been real easy to take a very high fall. And, you know, I mean, these guys were way the hell up in these trees. I don't know how they located these bees' nests, because these things seem so high, like you wouldn't even be able to see them. But they knew they were up there somehow. You know, it's not like these pygmies had binoculars or anything like that. I mean, the most sophisticated things these guys had were crude machete type things. I mean, that's it. And then they showed another hunting method they did. And the director of the film or whatever got invited on that too, on the hunt. And what they did was they had these nets that were, I don't know, 3 feet high or so. And they would set them up through the forest and make a big wall of net going along the forest. And then the ladies of the tribe would go way out past them and make a big circle opposite of this fence that they set up. And then the ladies would come closer and closer, tightening the circle towards the fence, okay, and drive animals towards this fence, which it was really a net. And they'd drive the animals towards there, and then the animals would end up hitting the net, and the men of the tribe would be waiting with their spears and everything, and then, you know, killing the animals as they got caught in the nets. But it was really cool system they had worked out for getting prey, and I mean, they got everything. They had these animals that they called antelopes, and they were real small. They're not like what I would picture an antelope to be. I mean, they were really small, like miniature, like pygmy antelopes for pygmy people, you know. But and then they'd have rodents and stuff that they got caught there. Everything was edible. You know, all of the game was edible. Be it rodents, these tiny antelope things, monkeys ran into that net. These dudes were spearing it, and they were going to eat it. But it was a really cool process. And the people in these two tribes, they met two different tribes. And while they were with them, they didn't notice any violence amongst these people. You know, like bickering, fighting, or arguing. And they said these people settled their differences with dancing. And they kind of do everything with dancing. They celebrate, they prepare for hunts, they, pray, all with dancing. Okay. Dance. These people were dancing fools. And so it just seemed really cool. These people just seemed, they were obviously cool people. And I had always wondered about these people, but never saw any documentaries about the pygmy tribes, and so it was really cool seeing this. And they just seemed like just genuinely cool people. Really cool, because, the filmmakers, yes, they gave them things to say, hey, we're cool, and this is our kind of pay to hang out with you kind of thing. But these people didn't have to accept it, and let's face it, if they didn't really like it, they could have, got violent if they were bad people. But they weren't. They weren't bad people. They just seemed really awesome. And it was a cool documentary, but it was short. It was, oh my gosh, I don't know, 45 minutes, I think. Wasn't that long. But these people are under threat. They're getting killed, and worse things are happening to them than that, because where they live, they are living on top of a vast deposit of natural resources, minerals specifically, cobalt and precious metals and things. The guy was talking about these metals that they take out of the ground. They're mining. Mining companies are mining for these different various minerals and that are being used for our cell phones. And he was saying, and I don't know if it's factual, that basically that some of these minerals, there's only one place in the world that they exist, and that is where these pygmy folks live, and that's why they're being driven out. And there is there are different armies controlling these territories, because they want to make money off of these foreign companies coming in that are mining out these minerals. So they're at war with each other, different armies, factions, because they want to be getting that money. They want to get that cash for the mining of these resources. And like I said, the director said that basically all our cell phones are using things taken out of the ground from where these pygmy people live. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true. I don't know. I didn't look that up. I just watched the film. But these people are in the pygmy tribe are looked down by the other people who live around there who aren't pygmies. They look down at them like they are less than human. Okay. And the people who drove these guys out there to see these pygmy tribes even referred to them as being like subhuman. So it's bad. It's bad. So they don't have any respect from the other people who live around them. So taking their lives is not a big deal, I guess, because a lot of the other people who live in these countries don't even look at them as people. So, it's cool. Cool. I'm looking at some homework here. My daughter's home from school. Here you go. That's nice. You want me to keep this? Okay, I'll keep that. That's good.
Paul. For Paul.
Okay, keep that for Paul.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to do him whole.
Alright, I'll do that, honey.
No,
But
Paul.
interesting. I think the show was just called Pygmies or something like that. It's on Netflix. That's something I watched last night, though. It was interesting. Then after that, I watched He-Man Masters of the Universe documentary, of all things. There's a big documentary about it. And that, I think, was about an hour and a half. And that talked about the whole concept being born for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, how it all got created, how it actually, there wasn't even a story for He-Man. See, I was a He-Man fan back in the days. I was the right age for He-Man when it came out in the early 80s. I was that right age for that. So, and I was a He-Man fan. And all kinds of He-Man stuff. But it started out as strictly a toy. And they didn't have any backstory for it or anything like that. It was just a toy line. And that was, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. Jeez, now I'm lost here. Was that Mattel or Kenner? Anyways, they came out with the toy. They didn't have a story for it. They talked about how the whole invention of He-Man and the other action figures, and they talked about the creation of the cartoon and the popularity of it, but it was cool. Got to see all kinds of conceptual drawings of how He-Man was developed and some of the other main characters in He-Man. They had interviews with some of the voice actors from the cartoons, and if you're a He-Man guy or a toy person who's into action figures and stuff like that, it'd probably be of interest to you. But that was pretty cool. Got to see some kind of rare He-Man merchandise that I sure as hell never seen before. Okay, you know, they had some He-Man collectors on there who were, I mean, major collectors. This one guy had this huge display case filled with all kinds of He-Man memorabilia, erasers, and of course the action figures and all that stuff, and lunch boxes and that stuff. What's up, Mike? How are you doing? I watched a He-Man documentary about the making of He-Man. That was on Netflix also. And, you know, that's what you do when you can't get your ass to sleep. You know, you end up watching some stuff like that, or I end up watching some stuff like that on Netflix. So, but, yeah, it was interesting. Now, before I started talking about the He-Man one, Mike, documentary I watched a documentary on the pygmies in Africa, that tribe, and that was pretty interesting. So I don't know if you've seen either one of those, but yeah, the He-Man one was pretty cool because, you know, I was a He-Man fan, and it talked about the rise of He-Man and also the decline, and how they were coming out with just crazy characters and action figures near the end of its popularity, which near the end of He-Man's popularity as a kid, I was already past He-Man, you know. I wouldn't say that I didn't like He-Man at all, but I was older and on to other things, and I had already noticed that He-Man was getting goofy. Some of the figures they were coming out with were pretty damn silly. Let's see, Mike says the staving ones that Larry the Cable Guy talks about. Alright, Mike, I'm figuring you mean the starving ones that Larry the Cable Guy talks about. Does he? I don't know. I guess I missed that. I guess I missed Larry the Cable Guy talking about starving pygmies. And if he talks about them, I mean, is it actually serious? I mean, because he's a comic. Starving, Michael says. Starving. I don't, yeah. I've never, I don't remember hearing Larry the Cable Guy talk about it, but I have not seen, I've definitely not seen all of his specials or material that's been out. My Larry the Cable Guy exposure has been limited compared to a lot of people. But speaking of Larry the pardon me, a little throat clearing here. Speaking of Larry the Cable Guy, I watched a Ron White special on Netflix not that long ago. And I remember, I haven't seen tons of Ron White either. Okay, I haven't seen lots and lots of Ron White. You know, I saw the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. I watched that. I enjoyed that. So I saw Ron White in there, Bill Engvall, Jeff Foxworthy, Larry the Cable Guy. But took a chance on the Ron White special just a couple days ago, and I didn't find myself rolling over it. You know, found one of his stories pretty funny, where he talks about living in Hawaii when he was in the Navy and prostitutes. I thought that was funny, but a lot of the other material I just was not, I don't know, it didn't grab me. I don't know, and I was really hoping it would, you know. I didn't watch it with the idea that, oh, I'm not going to laugh at any of the material this guy has. I didn't watch it with that kind of mentality. I didn't watch it, you know, not wanting to laugh. So I don't know what happened there. It didn't do it for me. But I watched it. I wasn't that thrilled over it. So, you know, because you know, and I know it's, oh gosh, forever ago that the Blue Collar Comedy Tour was, but I remember him being pretty funny on that. But I don't know, this special that he did not that long ago, it didn't thrill me, you know. Let's see, it says Mike sent an attachment to me, which I don't know if I can check that out. Probably can't check that out right now, Mike, but I'm going to check that out after being on here. So you sent something to me. Was that a link to some Larry the Cable Guy? I mean, I'll check it out. I'll check out what you sent to me. But, yeah, so the Ron White special, I don't know, didn't do it for me, didn't thrill me. You know, I don't know how popular it was with, you know, what the general consensus was on that. Mike says, do it later. Yeah, I'm going to check her out. I'm going to get her done. Let's see, Mike says, you know it. Okay. Yeah, I'll check her out. But, yeah, I was disappointed with the Ron White. Okay, Mike says it's only 3 minutes. Well, I can definitely spare 3 minutes of my time for that. I'll check her out. about Ron White? Does he do anything for you, Mike? Yeah, I don't know. I was really hoping that I'd get a laugh out of that, which, I mean, I got a couple of laughs, but I don't know. Comedy's a weird thing. You know, it's just like I watched that Grinch movie the other day. Actually really watched it, the live action one with Jim Carrey, and it didn't do anything for me. I don't know if I'm calloused or what. You know, and I'll admit right now, you know, to tell a little bit about myself is I grew up with some of the funniest guys that ever existed. Okay, I lucked out there. I grew up with some very funny people. All right, and one of them, well, two of them being my uncles, and one of them being my father. I mean, some of the funniest ass people you could ever meet. All right, were right in my family. Were men in my family that I loved and looked up to. Were some of the funniest people I've ever seen or heard. And I mean, so I think that's kind of calloused me too. Let's see. Mike says, I find him comical, but how many jokes about booze can you make in one special and still be funny? Yeah, booze does seem to be a backbone to a lot of his humor. It does. And that does get tiring. And like I said, I watched it with an open mind. I really wanted to enjoy it. I sat back, watched it, and you know, tried to relax so I wasn't uptight, and you know, the kids weren't running around. The kids were all asleep. You know, I wasn't going to watch that shit with the kids being up. But it just didn't do it for me. But like I said, it takes a lot to get me really rolling, and I've been spoiled by, like I said, my uncles and my dad were all really funny men. I mean, just hilarious guys, and so that helped spoil me as far as humor. You know, it's kind of like food or cars. You know, if you grew up with luxury cars, you know, driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis and stuff like that, then if you hopped in a Volkswagen Rabbit, it wouldn't be that thrilling. You know, it wouldn't do anything for you. What's up, Jonah? We're talking comedy, but yeah, it's kind of like that. Or if you are used to eating fine dining, you know, you're used to eating at, 4-star restaurants and stuff, and then you go and eat McDonald's. It's just not that appealing. So, I've been spoiled with humor. I grew up around a lot of humor. Mike says, like listening to Eddie Murphy in Brogan's basement when we were kids. Oh, yeah. The old Eddie Murphy back in the days. Oh, gosh. Yeah. What was that, Eddie Murphy Raw? That was a big one, was Raw, I think. And, of course, Richard Pryor was still kicking back then, you know. And George Carlin. You know, George Carlin, I watched a lot of his stuff. Liked a lot of George Carlin's material. You know. Mike says, but not as funny as that Woody behind your head. Actually, well, you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll show those guys off. Let's see, Jonah says, happy Thursday. We are 30 hours and 30 minutes away from beating Wadsworth. I'm pumped up for tomorrow's game. Wow, Jonah's already, he's in sports mode. And once again, I will reference that dude from Anger Management. If you guys saw Anger Management with Adam Sandler, the one guy was in Anger Management, major sports fan. He liked all different kinds of sports, and he would lose his shit when his team lost. That was his big anger problem, was sports. And, you know, his basketball team would be losing, and he'd be freaking the hell out. And that's what I think of Jonah when I think of that. But let's keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully you'll be right, Jonah, and you won't have to get mad about anything. Hopefully the Tigers will win. That would be exciting. Wadsworth. You know, how the hell's that for a town name? Speaking of, I already had talked about Ron White and prostitutes, and I think of prostitutes when I think of Wadsworth, you know. I spent $50 and I really got my Wadsworth. Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of Wadsworth. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has ever thought terrible shit like that when they thought about that town, but that's me. You know, I don't know. Some towns are just funny. But then again, you know, I worked for the post office one time. For about a year, I worked for the post office, and worked one of the guys teaching me how to do the actually carrying mail, because I worked inside the post office and I worked outside the post office. He was not a fan of Massillon, although he worked in Massillon. And I said, well, why wouldn't you live in Massillon? He was from Worcester or some shit like that. He said, I would never live in a town with the words ass and ill in it. And, which was kind of funny, even though I'm a Massillon guy, you know. Let's see, Jonah says, last time I remember flipping my shit was the last time McKinley beat Massillon with 26 seconds left. It was the last game at the old Fawcett Stadium, too. Oh, gosh. Well, I guess it's better than getting beat at home. Let's see, Jonah says, my sophomore year, the same year Massillon was not doing so hot. So you were pretty angry and pissed off then. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm not a sports fan, but I like to see my home team win. But not being a sports fan, I don't experience the manic or bipolar ups and downs along with my favorite sports team, you know, which in a way I guess I'm missing out, you know, for that emotional ride when our teams are doing good. I miss out on that. So, but like I said, next year, guys, next year, mark my words, the pollster here, I am going to put forth effort, and I am going to watch sports games. And I'm going to see if I've been missing out all these years. All right? You guys can hear me right now. I'm going to find out whether or not I am missing out on something. I'm going to try and watch baseball. I'm going to try and watch football, you know, some of the good American kind of games. I'm going to try and watch a little bit of basketball. You know, the big three. The big three. Because I've watched hockey before, and for a second of my life, I was kind of into hockey. So, I'm going to try these other sports. Let's see, Jonah says, funny thing is, my grandma graduated from Wadsworth, but loves Massillon with all she has. I jokingly said to her, looks like it's the battle of the rivals. She said, are you kidding me? Massillon, I gotta hit the C more. Massillon will win. So, Grandma is not, she doesn't give a shit. She wants Massillon to win. She doesn't care if she's from Wadsworth or not. Now that's cool. Another convert. There's a lot of Massillon Tiger converts. I didn't know that until a few years ago. You know, then I started finding out about people converting to Massillonism. people too. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people who came from Canton who now are Massillon fans. I shit thee not. And I'll tell you, a lot of those people who I know of that have turned into Tiger fans lived in Canton and now live in Massillon. And when they moved to Massillon, they liked it so much better that they ended up, along with moving to Massillon, ended up becoming Tiger fans. It's weird. It's weird because, growing up in Massillon, I always thought, I'll always be for the Tigers. I'm never gonna, not gonna turn around and be a Bulldog fan, which I wouldn't, but even though I lived in Canton for a little while, which that wasn't a great experience. That wasn't that great living in Canton. Which I don't want to dog Canton because, but it just isn't. It's not Massillon. It's not. You got to be real careful about where you choose to live over there, I guess, if you want to have an enjoyable time there. There's a few people that we went to school with, Mike, that we went to school with that now live in Canton, and some of them aren't too thrilled about where they live. Let's see, Jonah's saying Massillon was given 3,000 tickets for Friday's game. We sold all 3,000, and we're given an extra 1,500 tickets. Oh my gosh, it's 50% more. Jeez. We sold 300 of the extra so far, and we still have 2 days to sell out, while Wadsworth was given 1,500 tickets and only sold 400, rumor has it. That will sell out and go buy their available tickets. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. So, Wadsworth, are they pretty good? Well, I mean, they're this far into the playoffs, so are they pretty good? I don't know anything about them, Like I said, I've only been in Wadsworth a couple times. It's just, there's never been a reason to go there for me. One time I went there and, I bought some, I was in Wadsworth one time for certain. I went up there to buy a metal lathe. That's my big Wadsworth experience. I went up there, bought a metal lathe that I saw on Craigslist. That's my big experience there. Jonah says, I would never live in Canton. I would most likely get shot for all the Massillon stuff in my yard. Only he put, I'm my yard. Yeah, caught you. So you'd still be putting up Massillon stuff in the heart of Canton. I'd see that. Jonah would be walking around naked with his ass painted orange. Nice. I don't give a shit. I'm from Tiger Town, baby. Wow. Man. Let's see. So you guys want to see what's behind me? You guys want to see these guys up here? Anybody want to see them? If you guys want to see them, I'll pull them out. I'll pull out my package for you. Yeah, football. It's such a big thing around here, isn't it? It's huge. Yeah, got some dollies back there, but I'll pull them out if you guys actually want to see what I got behind me. Oh man, like I said, well, I didn't say it today, but I am I'm thinking about, guys, trying to get my own little nook for wasted lunch, my own little spot where I'm broadcasting from, where I got background all done up and my own comfy zone. Maybe those guys will be part of it. Let's see, Jonah's saying Massillon and Wadsworth are both 12-0, 12-0, coming into tomorrow's game. Wow. Massillon has outscored Wadsworth with their total points for the season. They are good. I can't talk them down, but I'm sure Massillon will come away with a win in a good game. Well, let's hope it's a good game. Let's hope the Tigers do good. I mean, I do want that. How the hell did I get red on my shirt? You guys want to see my shirt? Let's see. I'll show you. Jonah says, every chance I have going to Canton, or as my grandpa calls it, Slum City, USA, I always wear maslin gear. Oh, wow. Poor Canton, huh? Oh, gosh. It's, I'll tell you, Jonah, it's fine. Canton's been a rough town for a long time. Mike knows that. It's been a rough place. Let's see here. I'll show you my shirt here, guys. I'm wearing a Pavel shirt. And, I'm wearing a Pavel shirt today. Figured I'd show that baby off. If you haven't seen Pavel, then you need to go to Paul McVeigh Original Universe on YouTube and watch some of the Pavel videos. They're worth your time. They really are. I think, anyways. Of course, you know, that's me. They're on my channel, so I'm going to say shit like that. But you ought to check out the Pavel videos if you haven't seen them. Which brings up a good question. Have you guys seen them? Let's see. Jonah says it's sad when Canton has a bigger crime rate than Cincinnati. Yeah. Oh. I think it's citydata.com, which has all those statistics, and they got it on the real estate, they got it on the crime or whatever, and they boil all this shit down. You can look at all different statistics for things, and when it comes to the crime thing, yeah, it does say that Canton has some of the highest crime for cities of any size in America. So it's not a good record to have. I mean, Massillon might not be the most exciting place in the world to live. Well, it definitely isn't, but you know, people like to live in Massillon. They do, and the numbers show it. The population numbers show that people like to live there. Jonah says, Fox 8 had a segment on worst crime rate cities, and Canton was #1. Yeah. And, you know, it's funny. I've talked about this mentality, and I don't think Canton is the only place where people get this. I think people, when they grow up somewhere, they get used to things. Even if shit is really bad, they can get used to it. And I remember when there was a lot of hype on the news talking about how bad Canton was. And I knew Canton people who said, I don't think it's that bad. I don't see how we can be rated that high up on these lists, on the news, online, in magazines. You know, they were talking about Canton being so bad. And these people who grew up there and still live there just couldn't understand it. They just were like, I don't think it's that bad. And I think it's because people get used to stuff. And, you know, it seems normal to them. That's all I can figure. I'm not an anthropologist here, but that's how I see it. People get used to something, and then it just doesn't seem extreme to them because it's normal. You know, whereas somebody comes from a town like, Brewster or Navarre or something like that, and then they go to Canton, and they're like, oh my gosh, what the hell am I doing here, you know? But I think when you grow up, I think some people, when they grow up in a place like that, it just seems normal, so. My gosh, my coffee's cold. This is a terrible cup here. This is my wobble till you gobble coffee mug. It looks more like some kind of a soup bowl with a handle. it's terrible for drinking coffee out of because your coffee gets cold so fast because the damn opening on the top is so large that in a couple minutes your coffee is cold. It's just how the hell it works. So, not one of my favorite mugs at all. Not one of my favorites. Oh, man. Let's see. Let me see if I can get these guys off of here without making a mess. Here we go. Laurel and Hardy. Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy here. I need to get them some hats. I'll say. Yeah, there's Stan Laurel and Oliver Norval Hardy. Right there. Need to get these guys some derbies. Alright. That's what I need for them. See. Let me hit the see more button before I even start reading it. That makes it so much easier. See, Massillon has its population. This is Jonah talking. Massillon has its population of 32,000 people and has its downfalls by all means. Not perfect, but the community comes together on Friday nights, which is truly amazing. And to have the biggest high school rivalry in the country and have half of the city population show up is truly something special, which I agree. To everyone who has never experienced a Massillon game, I have today just experienced it once, and I guarantee them that they will never have seen an atmosphere quite like this. I have to agree with that. See, Jonah says top hats would suit them well. Well, top hats would be all right, but if you watch Laurel and Hardy, if you watch them before, then they almost always had their derbies on. Okay, their bowler hats, almost always. And if you haven't watched much Laurel and Hardy, you need to watch more Laurel and Hardy. Okay, you should watch it because they were great. They were a hell of a team. They were amazing. And I mean, I can watch their movies, from the 1930s and stuff, and still chuckle watching them. I mean, they're a great comedy team, and they just, timeless. Their humor doesn't really get dated. Laurel and Hardy, good stuff. But, yeah, so watch some Laurel and Hardy. If you've never seen these guys in action, you need to see them. I got a great Laurel and Hardy collection one time for a gift. Can't remember if it was for Christmas or my birthday. Awesome collection. Had lots of their shorts and some of their feature films, and Laurel and Hardy, good stuff. But neither one of them were very bright, but Ollie was kind of the leader of the two, and he thought he was smarter than Stan Laurel, and that created a lot of the humor. Stan would do a lot of goofy shit, and then Oliver would correct him and ended up doing stupid shit on his own and getting them in trouble too. So it was really, oh my gosh, they're good. They were awesome. So they're one of my tops when it comes to humor, Laurel and Hardy. If you haven't seen the Marx Brothers in action too, Marx Brothers were really good. I don't know if you've ever seen the Marx Brothers, but those guys were great too. They had a lot of good movies they put out, and they, well, really were brothers, which is kind of interesting too. So, what's going on today? What's the big happenings today? I know what I got on my plate today. I get to go out there. I hope it's not raining still, because I've got to go out there and rake leaves in this shit. I made a deal with somebody, made a deal with my neighbor that I would get rid of his leaves for him if he'd work on my car. Well, he made the deal with me, so I got to hold up my bargain, my end of the bargain. So I got to move some soggy ass leaves today. That's going to be fun. So what are you doing, Jonah? Because that's what the hell I'm doing. Okay, let's see here. Jonah says, I've watched them when I was younger with my grandpa. We would watch many shows together as well. I also wonder where Sean is. He's usually here, which surprises me that he's not. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Sean isn't here. Sean isn't here. It's kind of strange. I don't know. You know, yesterday when he was on, he said he was laying down and half asleep. So maybe maybe he started sleeping in or something like that, and that's what he's doing. I don't know. That could be it. He could be sleeping in later. Let's see. Jonah says it's been raining all day. I think it has let up a bit and is sprinkling. Just play it safe due to the ice. Yeah, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun. The leaves were dry and crispy yesterday, and obviously that's not going to be the case today. I mean, we're talking a lot of damn leaves here, because my neighbor dude has some maple trees in his front yard, along with some oaks, and I mean, they just pooped down the leaves on them. Pooped down the leaves. Now, the good part of the deal is, that he already raked these leaves into a pile. Okay, and so I've got to stuff them into wheelbarrows and wheel them all the way back to the woods and dump them, which is a pretty good walk. So it takes a while. I probably emptied about 20 wheelbarrows yesterday. Let's see, Jonah says I have storage containers to take to the attic and a few loads of laundry to do as well. Well, it's good to have stuff to do, isn't it? Somebody else is on here. Somebody else keeps popping on here, and I don't know who it is, because it doesn't say who it is. See, Jonah says today they are soaked and covered in ice. I'll bet they are. So it probably makes sense for me to dig out some gloves before I go and do that. Dig out some gloves and put them babies on while I go and get the leaves picked up. That's what I should do. But, yeah, good old leaves. Every year, same thing. Every year. And those maple leaves, oh my gosh. You know, they're those sugar maples. Got those huge leaves. That's my favorite tree. That is my favorite tree, the sugar maple. There. You want to know something about me there? Now you know my favorite damn tree. Let's see, Jonah says that's a plus that he put them in a pile, but the only downfall is the ice and the walk to the woods to dump them. Yeah, it's a pretty good walk. I don't know how many feet. I don't know. A few 100 feet, I guess, to get to the woods. Oh my gosh, there it is. There's Sean. Ba-da-ba-bum-ba-bum. There's Sean. Sean's on now. I'll tell you guys, it'd be funny, really would, if we got to the point, if Wasted Lunch got to the point where it was a sit down around the table kind of show. I think it'd be a hell of a lot of fun. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think if it was a sit down kind of show? Sean says, I'm here. There he is. He's finally with us. Sean's awake. I bet you his ass was sleeping. Jonah says, I have an old oak tree that is behind my house, and it always has a lot of leaves that are spread all over my small backyard. Yeah. Yeah, the oak trees. I'll tell you what, they're nice. I got two oak trees right in front of my damn house. Jonah says, hey, Sean, I thought the melon heads got you. Yeah, we thought your ass was taken out. Thought you were taken out. I don't know. Question. Shouting out a question to you guys. Yeah. This ever got to be more of a format where we're people chilling out at a table? Okay, good. Sean is just came up with a statement that is just along what the hell I was gonna say. Sean says, like, both of us come over and do the show. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be a lot of fun. You know? With the technological capabilities I have right now. Right now, it'd have to be, you know, the camera would have to be pulled out, whereas if it were all three of us, we'd all have to be sitting there, you know, and have to all three be in the shot, which would, the main thing would be you guys would have to be able to talk loud, and I don't think that would be a problem for either one of you. Sean says, I was in my crawl space preparing for my feast. Oh, gosh. But yeah, wouldn't that be fun, guys? Wouldn't that be fun to do a show like that, where it was just, you know, the camera's pulled out? Sean says, yeah, I'm down with it. Yeah, I was wondering about that, guys. I think that'd be fun. Even if we just did, you know, kind of a BS special, you know, BSing. You know, just one show and just kind of, you know, all subjects were on the table. It's just everything. Boom. It's right there. Talk anything, everything, you know. I gotta get some coffee, damn it. What do you guys think of that? I think it'd be fun. Just, like I said, everything. You know, one table, one pot of coffee, and a few dudes just sitting there and BSing. I think it'd be a hell of a lot of fun. And what do you think, Jonah? Got Sean's opinion on it. What do you think? Chime in here. Speaking of coffee, let's see if you can see the steam rolling off my coffee. There we go. See, Jonah says I would be down for that. That would be fun. Find some topics to cover. Sean was in a crawl space, hiding the evidence of the crack he sold to those poor kids. Nice. Nice, Sean, you crack dealer. Sean, you weren't on here. I'm going to show my Pavel shirt off. It fits me tight because I'm a full-figured kind of gal, but that's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Pavel shirt. While you're busy selling crack. In a crawl space. But yeah, I mean, what we could do is, you know, boom, you got the table, and you know, if there's three of us, all three sitting there, and I mean, it could just be, you know, just start talking, and whatever the hell happens, and it all gets caught on camera. Sean says, so wait, you didn't turn Jonah into chocolate. Sean says, so I guess it was Mike. No, I didn't turn Jonah into chocolate. Mike's all right. Mike was on here earlier. So Mike's all right. He's safe. He didn't get converted into chocolate goodies. So no Mike droplings. That sounds terrible, Mike droplings. Sounds like somebody went following him and he pooped and somebody scooped it up. turned it into candy. Mike Droplings. What the hell? Yeah, damn. Yeah, I think that'd be a hell of a lot of fun, guys. We ought to do that. Wow, that's hot. That's hot. And you guys drink coffee, right? I know we talked about this before. Pretty sure Jonah drinks coffee. Sean, I'm not 100% sure on you if you drink coffee. But whatever the hell you drink, I mean, we can have it. We, have our stuff and I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Sean says, yeah. I don't know what he's yapping to. But, the spot I was at the other day when I was talking about those murders and shit going on down in southern Ohio, I've been thinking about, kind of taking over that spot and converting that and just turning that into my wasted lunch area. Sean says I have yet to look outside. Let's see. Oh, let me hit the C more. Jonah says, I'm surprised you didn't pull any fucked up jokes, Sean. When you said, well, he's not chocolate, the joke ending, I thought of as well, they ain't falling for that shit again. I'm not sharing that joke for many reasons. So, wait, I'm trying to think. Pull any fucked up jokes like Sean said when you said, well, he's not chocolate, joke ending. I thought of was, well, they ain't falling for that shit again. So Jonah says you can't, it's stale. Can't do it again. And somebody's popping on here. Hello, whoever it is, because I don't know. Somebody keeps popping on, but I don't know who it is. I don't know, but I mean, by all means, join the conversation. Say something. You're more than welcome to. That's what this is about. I don't know who it is that keep popping on for a few seconds and then popping off. I think what happens is people get curious. They're like, what the hell is Paul in this wasted lunch thing? And they pop on and they're like, I think some of the time people were like thinking about commenting and then maybe they kind of chicken out, Let's see. Jonah says, oh, okay, wait. Oh, sorry, guys. I lost my scrolling here. Sean says, yeah, to the coffee. Jonah says, something. Has some smiley faces. Sean says, Jonah, are you implying that I said Paul turned you black? No, I don't think that's what he's implying. I don't think so. But I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. I don't know. See, right here, this would be another reason why it'd be fun as hell to do a live special. It could be a special for whatever the hell that's worth. Right? Wasted lunch, special, extra special. Jonah says, no, Sean, LOL, I will tell you later. Yeah, maybe that's something for the, messenger thing. I don't know. Maybe maybe Jonah's got something like that needs to be shared on that format. But so while I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of brainstorming now, guys. We get the table, get the camera set up, and it's everything's up for discussion. Sean says, man, you could tell us all in the chat. Jonah says, a special show for a special group of people who has a messed up sense of humor. Yeah. I think it'd work well. And I think it'd be a hell of a lot of fun. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. A lot of fun. A lot of coffee. A lot of sitting around and BSing and see where that goes. Sean says, remember, Jonah, I know where you sleep. Wow. Could you imagine waking up and Sean standing over you while you're sleeping? Could you imagine that? Chilling out, laying in your bed, you know, wearing your Valentine heart thong, and you wake up and Sean's standing over your ass. That'd be weird. Sean says, I will keep this messed up joke to myself. I don't want to share it on a live show. Yeah, maybe. Well, when you have that feeling, go with it, or you need to stick with that feeling and not share it. Because, you know, that's the thing. Once you say it, you can't take it back. You're just screwed. So it's out there. It's already out there, and you know, for better or for worse, it is out there, and then, you know, out there in cyberspace, and then everybody's making their opinions about you. So, which is kind of the messed up thing about this whole process, but it's also kind of fun too. Sean says, Jonah, you want to end up in my crawl space. Oh gosh, which I almost watched a documentary last night that talked about John Wayne Gacy, but I didn't. Jonah says, Sean, you would be the guy to smell my dirty boxers as I sleep after all you sniff laundry. Correction. He doesn't just sniff laundry, he snorts it. He snorts laundry, you know. So, Sean does, you know, some people do a line of Coke. Sean does a line of BVDs. If you guys don't know what those are, he, you know, chops up and does a whole line of Fruit of the Looms there. Just teasing you, Sean. Oh, gosh. See? Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. Well, I'm gonna give Sean the chance for some sort of rebuttal here. Sean, you gotta have something to say to that. You have to, man. Gotta have something to say to Jonah after that. Jonah needs to, well, I'm trying to think, which one of you guys, who ended up messing up the, Sean says, I keep hearing loud bangs. He's always hearing noises and shit. He's always hearing these thumps and stuff. Maybe it's those tree branches again. Jonah says, Sean, you like to snort laundry and sell your goods. Sell your goods? Which one of you got, somebody messed up, okay, and they were talking about trash bags, and instead of putting bags, they put a V instead of a B, and it came out vages. Do you guys remember who did that? Because I can't remember if that was Mike, Sean, Jonah. I can't remember who the hell said that, but it ended up coming out really funny. Do you guys remember that? Somebody put that down, and I read it just like it looked. That was a good one, too. See, so, let's see. Jonah says it's Sean. Sean says, I think it was Mike. It might have been Mike. Jonah says that was Sean, LMAO. Okay. Jonah's saying it was you, Sean. And you already heard, I don't remember who said it. You know, I should have put that in the Facebook Live title. You know, heavy garbage badges, but I didn't do that, so maybe I should have done that so I would have remembered that. Jonah says that's the same day we talked about Flapstick. Flapstick, that was a good one. That was a good talk right there. That was a fun one. Which, you know, in the future, that's one thing I've thought about. I've thought about in the future, bringing out some more of my product ideas I've had, you know, sharing those with you guys, seeing what you guys thought of those, because I've had other product ideas, so someday in the future I'll end up running those across your brains. Sean says, man, I thought Flapstick was a region on a male. No, it's a lower lip balm for the ladies. Yeah. Coffee. too much of this shit, guys. Oh gosh. Time is 12 after 1, oven standard, 112. And I have got to, as much as I really don't want to, I've got to get my ass off here. I've got to go pick up leaves. That's just a have-to thing. So I'm going to have to wrap it up so I can go wrap up some damn leaves. Jonah says, introducing the one and only flap stick. Yeah. Well, I thought it was a good product idea, you know. It was definitely a good thing to bring up on the show. Because we ran with that for a while. We had a good time with that. Had a good time with the flap stick. So I'm going to bring up some of my other ideas. Sean says, well, flap stick sounds kind of perverted. Well, you know, Sean, well, you're not a lady in need of such a product, so, you know. Sean says, have a good day, Paul. Thank you. I will try to. I hope you guys have an awesome day as well. And you and Jonah and Mike, even though Mike's not with us anymore, and anybody else who watches, I hope has a great day. Jonah's asking, Sean, are you going to the game tomorrow? Sean, are you going to the game? That's what Jonah's wanting to know. So get back to a brother on that. All right. See, Jonah says, Sean, we are kind of fucked up in the head, man. Look at what we laugh at. LMAO. Have a good day, Paul. Yeah. Well, you guys have a great day too. I'm gonna get out there. I gotta get me a couple pairs of socks on and get out there and do some leaves, which I don't look forward to, but in a way I'm like, okay, this is going to be my exercise for today, because, you know, I have been trying to exercise every day, so today it's going to be the leaves. You know, that might not sound like high impact working out, but for me, it's good enough. I'm doing something, so. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off of here. Wish everybody a fantastic day. Tomorrow's going to be Friday. Let's hope tomorrow is an awesome day. But until then, you guys take care of yourselves. Stay out of trouble. And I will see you later. Bye. Bye. I'm trying to hit